Good evening. Welcome to Meet the Candidates, a forum for those running for mayor of Columbia Heights. I'm Karen Varian of the Anoka, Blaine, Coon Rapids Area League of Women Voters, who is sponsoring this Meet the Candidates forum, along with our co-sponsor, the City of Columbia Heights. I live in Blaine and could not vote for any of these candidates. All candidates were invited to this event. The League of Women Voters does not support or oppose any political parties or candidates. The League does help citizens become informed voters, and we advocate for important issues. This forum is about informing voters. If you're interested in the League, visit our website, lwvabcmn.org. We invite people of all genders and young adults from Anoka County to join our League. We will start with the 2 introductory questions candidates received in advance, followed by questions submitted by the public via our website, and questions of importance to the League of Women Voters, and we'll end with closing statements. Answers are limited to 90 seconds for each of the 2 introductory questions, and 1 minute for each of the other questions. The candidates for mayor are Cliff Johnson and Anoka Marcus Simula. With us tonight is candidate Cliff Johnson. Anoka Marcus Simula was unable to attend, but has submitted responses to the introductory questions that I will read. So welcome. Let's begin with the introductory questions. Lots were drawn to determine which candidate is first. Candidate Anoka Marcus Simula is first. The first question is, what is your motivation to run for this office, and what experience or knowledge would help you serve effectively? My name is Anoka Marcus Simula, and I am the current mayor of Columbia Heights, running for re-election. I believe in truth, integrity, and authenticity, and believe it's important first to acknowledge that Columbia Heights is located on stolen Anishinaabe and Dakota land. I am currently visiting our sister city, Womanki, Poland, for the September 18th anniversary to remember the World War II American relief missions and sacrifices that aided the people of Womanki in Warsaw. This forum was scheduled during those prearranged ceremonies. I paid for my visit to Poland. It is not a taxpayer expense. Like other mayors before me, I'm proud to attend and represent Columbia Heights as a member of our sister cities organization and as your mayor. These forums are important, and I thank the League for hosting them. Although the technology is available, I am disappointed that my request to participate in this forum remotely wasn't an option. Thanks to the League for reading my remarks tonight and for their video of the July 18th forum, which includes my answers to similar questions. I am the candidate that strives for equality. I fight nepotism and would never favor a friend or relative over objectivity. I'm committed to representing everyone. The 90 seconds is up, so we'll go on to candidate Johnson. So candidate Johnson, what is your motivation to run for this office? And what experience or knowledge would help you serve effectively?
I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this event. My motivation comes from seeing the lack of leadership from our current mayor. This election comes down to leadership. Who do you as a voter want to lead the city? My opponent has missed 7 city council meetings or council work sessions in 7 months from December 2021 through June of 2022. That's a huge amount of missed meetings. She's also elected to skip this forum to go on a vacation. That speaks volumes about her priorities regarding her position as a mayor. I can assure you I will be here. I will attend as many meetings as humanly possible. If your idea of leadership is endless proclamations and selfies, I'm not your candidate. I plan on doing very little of those things. If your idea of leadership is someone who's here working with city staff on all the issues we have to tackle, attending all meetings, communicating with residents about these issues, listening to your concerns regarding the day-to-day operation of the city, then I am the candidate you should vote for. The residents deserve to know how we as candidates feel about the actual issues. Therefore, I'm challenging my opponent to an actual debate in front of a live audience, taking live questions from the audience when an agreed-upon moderator take place at the library. I will send my invitation to the opponent tomorrow with several dates to choose from. To keep informed about the debate and all my other positions, please follow my Facebook page. Search Cliff Johnson for Columbia Heights Mayor on Facebook. Thank you.
All right. The next question is, what are your goals for the future of Columbia Heights? I will now read candidate Marquez Simula's answer. My goal is to bring the community's voice into action. We want a city that is safe, vibrant, welcoming, and inclusive home for everyone. I often hear requests for more grocery options, a skateboard park, soccer fields, and a community center. I support these ideas, so we'll have to work to make them a reality. A good way to start is to make our budget reflect our values. My priorities are addressing residential concerns, including housing and support for renters and landlords. Continued support for local businesses with connections and opportunities to help them thrive. Public safety, including strong support for our new community social workers. Safety improvements to our high-traffic streets like Central Avenue. Now we will go to questions that came from the public via our website.
Excuse me?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you get it. I'm sorry. I was going to say that in the beginning. Please remind me if I skip over you. So, yes, Candidate Johnson, you have the opportunity to answer that question.
Thank you. One of my goals is trying my best to keep the city an affordable and pleasant place to live. There are plans being bandied about a dog park, a skate park, soccer field conversions, all being supported by a couple of currently serving members of the council, as well as 2 that are running for office. There have also been postings that we as a city don't pay enough per student in our school system. All of these things cost money, which means taxes being raised. The same candidates also say we need more affordable housing in the city. You can't have it both ways. If I'm elected, I will keep a clear focus on doing everything I can to keep our taxes as low as possible and our city as affordable as possible. I'd also concentrate on strengthening the city's management of residential rental properties. Everyone deserves a decent, clean, and safe place to live. Working on improving our vendor services such as garbage recycling, raise the city's positive profile within the metro area, improve public safety within the city, including traffic safety. If we address these issues, I feel we can attract more business to the city and make it a more safe and pleasant place to live. Thank you.
Thanks. Now that we only have one candidate that'll be answering questions, I guess I can't miss you, right?
That's right.
Thank you. Well, now we'll start with the questions that were submitted to our website from the general public. We have received many good questions and will not have time to ask them all. What I've done is sorted the questions by categories. So I have general, development, city regulations, city services, finance and budget, community involvement, safety, and diversity and equity. So that's a lot of categories. First, I will ask you some questions from each of the categories, and then if time permits, I will select additional questions from the categories. Okay? So the first one is, many mayoral responsibilities include meetings, sessions, and events that are not pre-scheduled. How will your professional and family commitments affect your attendance?
I'm retired, so I don't have a real time constraint. I will prioritize ones that how they affect the city as far as governing the city is concerned and what kind of impact they can have on the reputation of our city or enlightening the rest of the metro area to our city. I won't say that I'll attend every one I'm ever asked to, because some of them I don't feel might not be in interest to the city. That's a difficult decision to make, but I'll have to make those decisions as they come to me. But as the most part, I will try to attend as many as I possibly can that fit within the guidelines of the city.
Thank you. The second question is, have you reviewed the results of the citywide resident survey conducted earlier this year? If so, how might you use the feedback to guide future governing decisions and goals?
I looked at that report. It's a huge report. There's a lot in it. my biggest takeaway from it was people are not satisfied with the services that we are currently trying to give them in regards to garbage, recycling, other types of things. We have other issues. One of their big complaints is parking, and I understand that, and I get that, and I have my own ideas on how we can fix that. Specifically, winter parking is a big problem, and maybe we need to relook at how we do that. Regardless, it's going to probably take more manpower and more money to do what people want us to do. We're going to have to prioritize all those things. But for the most part, yeah, I'll use that as a guide, but I'll also use city staff and their conclusions of how we can get this done as my guide also. Thank you.
Thanks. Now I'll go on to some questions about development. What policy changes do you support to preserve more affordable housing for both renters and homeowners in Columbia Heights?
Well, the biggest proposal I was a champion of is putting a moratorium on single-family resident rentals. Those were being gobbled up by corporate owners, pricing people out of the housing market within our city, quickly making it not affordable anymore. I came to the city a year ago with a council member and two other people, meetings with the city manager and another person, to actually talk about this problem. I don't think they were taking it seriously enough at the time. I could see a problem coming. I could see a Havenbrook coming. And I said, it's best to ward it off as soon as you possibly can. And they had ideas about, limiting the amount of rentals and things like that. And that's all great, except I was saying, you don't have the answers yet. You need to put a moratorium now so we can work on it. Well, thanks to all that work, they did pass a moratorium last month, and it's for a year. And so hopefully, I'd like to continue working on that project if I'm elected mayor, because I have a lot of ideas on how we can fix that.
Thanks. So another development question. Now that we've not only not gotten a grocery store in the old Rainbow Foods building, but also our longtime friendly neighborhood hardware store is closing in the same building, what new initiatives do you hope to implement for local economic development and community vitality?
Well, I think the biggest thing you could do is to try and be a cheerleader for the city, to try and promote it as a really opportunity for many businesses to come here. I was disheartened, too, to hear that they were leaving. That development is going to be a big controversy I can see down the future, because they want to talk about 400 to 600 units in there. And we have a traffic problem now already at that particular intersection. And everybody's talking about how to redo Central so we have less accidents and it's more safe. I can't see how adding 400 to 600 more units in that particular property is going to add to the safety of that street at all. It's going to cause parking problems. It's going to cause all kinds of problems that we didn't interpret. And development for the sake of development is not a good idea. And that's what this is. They didn't know what else to do with that property. So they changed the zoning to the way the developer wanted it. And now it's going to be developed into housing, whether you want it or not. Thank you.
All right, kind of a little bit of a follow-up on that one. What are your plans for getting an affordable grocery store in Columbia Heights?
Well, I would think that all I can be as a cheerleader, I think most of that's going to be up to city staff. We're going and as a council, we'll have to see what we can do with TIF financing and all kinds of other incentives to get somebody to come here. But the staff would be way more knowledgeable about that than I would be. But I can say I would be whatever they want to run with. If I agree with it and we agree as a unit, I will be a big cheerleader to get that happen.
Okay, thanks. Now some questions about city regulations. How do you propose updating the current parking restrictions to meet residents' needs better? Things such as overnight parking regulations, exception permitting structure, not enough parking spaces in some of the parks, overflow into residential neighborhoods. Those are just some of the parking issues.
Well, the couple ideas I got regarding parking is there are certain homes that don't have any parking, and that's a huge problem. I would like to see us change the zoning. So if you don't have a driveway, we can relax rules on setbacks and all these other, green ratios to tar ratios. These people need a driveway. I don't see why the city should get in the way to have a driveway. They want to get off the street. We just tell them they can't have a driveway because we don't meet specifications. I think we need to look at changing that. I think what I'd like to see is for every rental property that's a fourplex or above, they have a sign that's in front of their property that says there's no overnight parking from November to April 1st. That way nobody can say, I didn't know that was the rule. I'd like to see that with the new developments. You should be within a 2-block radius of the new development. Same thing. I would also like to see some expansion in the parks. We probably do need more parking because parks are very important to citizens of this city.
All right, thanks. What, if any, changes might you consider to the city code regarding out-of-state interest purchasing single-family homes in Columbia Heights and using them as rental properties?
Well, I think I mentioned that, but I'll clarify it. I'm against an oversaturation of single-family homes being turned into rentals. First of all, it reduces the housing choices for people who want to live here, families who want to live here. And second of all, out-of-state corporate ownership doesn't seem to have a real vested interest in our city. They don't really have an interest in what goes on here, how good or bad. They're also not very good at screening renters. I've been a landlord in this city for 15 years, and I've attended the landlord meetings every quarter put on by the city of police. We get all kinds of information. I've only seen one corporate owner there. The rest of it all of us small mom and pop places like me. And I think that's part of the problem. We don't need any more corporate ownership. We need to put a moratorium on it, how many can be per block.
Okay, thanks. City services. In Anoka County, Columbia Heights has the lowest number of households with internet access. What can the city do to increase affordable internet access for everyone, including students in Columbia Heights?
Well, I think you have to work with the partners who are able to it. But I look at, maybe we can get some grants or something like that. But I look at the internet services that are available, and you can get T-Mobile on a monthly plan for $50 a month. That's pretty reasonable if you ask me. And 90% of the people walking around, it seems like, already have a phone on them which has internet access. So I don't know if internet access is really a problem like it used to be. In fact, I attended a library board meeting a couple months ago, and they're talking about taking out computers because nobody uses them. Nobody needs them for internet access. Everybody's walking around with a phone who has instant access. So I really don't know if that's a huge problem. I'd like to see the numbers on it. I'm a data-driven person. If the data is there, then we'll do something about it. We'll try.
Thanks. Now on to finances and budget. If elected, what steps would you take to put our city on a firmer financial footing?
Well, I think one of the most important things we can do is try and grow our business district. We need more businesses to support our tax base. We seem to be headed in a direction that all we want to do is build residential properties. We don't actually have any new businesses coming in, especially none with the size. We took our industrial section of the city and turned it into housing. It seems like that's our only answer to everything is more housing, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. My concentration, like I said before, will be to try and keep taxes down as low as I possibly can. We all want as many amenities as we can get, but all those things come at a cost. So if our people are willing to pay for it, and they say they're willing to pay for it, then it's something we're going to look at. I just don't know if they actually are willing to pay for it. There's a lot of people who think we get something for nothing, and we have this bucket full of money we can just come from, and we don't.
Thanks. Citizen involvement. There is a perceived division in our city. What are your plans for building community?
All I can say is I welcome anybody who wants to be involved in this city, whether it be in meetings or committees. Any way they want to become involved, I welcome it. And that's open to anybody. And I really wish more people would volunteer to be on. We have openings in several committees, and I would say the more the merrier. Come on, I can't think of any reason or any position the city has would not make it welcoming. I don't know. That's like you say, a perceived thing. I don't think it's that big a deal.
All right, thanks. We're coming to the end of our time, so this is the final question. I hope this is a little bit of fun here. If the city received a $2 million grant for use in the city any way it wanted, what would you do with it and why?
Did you say youth or use?
Use.
Use.
So you got a $2 million grant, and you can use it whatever way you want to do in the city. What would you do?
Well, first of all, I'd have to have a consensus because I don't think I have that kind of power. But I would look at ways to prioritize things we need the most. Maybe the parks and rec. Maybe they need it to convert some soccer fields, or maybe we can get a skateboard park. If we can get money like that and we don't have to cost taxpayer money, I think that's the way to do it. That's the way I'd like to do it, is to make the parks better for everybody.
All right. Now we're on to your closing remarks. So now it's your closing statement.
Okay. And once again, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this event. In conclusion, I will reiterate this election comes down to leadership. Who do you want as a leader of this city? If you like my ideas, I need your vote. And I also need you to spread the word on social media as well as in person to all friends and family who are eligible to vote. I had a tough battle against a heavily funded campaign. I'm working on a limited budget. I also need you to vote for like-minded candidates. I cannot do this alone on the council. There are many candidates who want to emulate our city the way Minneapolis is run. I think that's a very bad idea. Minneapolis is run like a dumpster fire. I'm the only true, nonpartisan, independent candidate in the race for Columbia Heights mayor. If you want more info or a lawn sign, please contact me. There will be literature available here, and I'll be available after the forums. To keep informed, please follow my Facebook page. Search Cliff Johnson for Columbia Heights Mayor on Facebook. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you to our candidates for speaking to voters about issues and for running for Columbia Heights Mayor. Thanks to our co-sponsors, the City of Columbia Heights, for their video production and promotion. And thanks, viewers, for your interest in becoming informed voters. The links to all League of Women Voters ABC local election candidate forms can be found on our website at lwvabcmn.org. Please get in touch with the candidates directly if you have questions left unanswered by the form. There are a lot of races on this year's ballot, and redistricting has taken place. To preview what will be on your ballot, visit the Minnesota Votes website at mnvotes.gov. This site also provides information on where to vote. Again, this is mnvotes.gov. You can register to vote or update your registration online at the same website, mnvotes.gov. And you can also register when you go to vote on November 8th. When you vote, you participate in our democracy. You make it stronger and you make it yours. Vote early, in person, or by mail, starting Friday, September 23rd, or vote in person on November 8th. Columbia Heights residents can vote early in person at City Hall or the Anoka County Government Center. Check their websites for the times. Thank you.
Thank you.